Easy points available. Easy points available. Yesterday we talked about what topic? I think I can hear it, but I don't know. Okay, I heard it completely from Mackenzie, so I'm going to give it to Mackenzie. Completing the square. We're going to finish talking about that today. If you don't pay attention, if you didn't pay attention yesterday, you were probably kind of lost. And if you're not paying attention today, you're definitely going to be more lost. And it's a struggle. The struggle is real. Because we're doing something else today. What's the second thing we're going to talk about today? I told you there were two things. One is the formula, yeah. Quadratic formula. Yes, I heard it completely from 6, so 6 and a half point. Yes, we're doing the quadratic formula as well. So we're taking a quiz before Thanksgiving on completing the square and the quadratic formula. That's going to be on what day of the week? It is on Monday. I heard it from 1 and 3. They can have a point. It is on Monday. What else is on Monday?
Workshop test.
Yes, I heard him call it what we're supposed to call it. There is a math workshop test on Monday. We'll get to table 1. There is a math workshop test on Monday. I'll say that again. If you're not going to be here on Monday and you want to come see me like 0 period tomorrow to go ahead and take the math workshop test because you can factor in you've got it mastered, that's great. If not, you can definitely make it up after Thanksgiving. I probably won't type in the zeros over Thanksgiving break because that's kind of depressing. So I'll wait till after Thanksgiving. So don't stress about getting a 0 that you can't fix. I'll wait until the week after Thanksgiving and type in any zeros for this completing the square/quadratic formula quiz and for the math workshop test. The quiz is only going in the 30, but the math workshop test is going in the 60. So, okay, well, that's math workshop test is always going in the 60. So we'll only have 60% left before the end of the 9 weeks that we have to cover. Yes, dear. After Thanksgiving is the last page in your packet. There's like one more topic after that. You know how your packet's like 3 pages right now or 4? It's like the last page after that. And then we review and then we test on it all. And we have to, our goal is to get through, so that'll be the end of chapter 4. Our goal is to quiz on 5.1. So we're back on track as long as we don't get off course now. Back on track to being done on time. I gave you a math workshop page on your way in.
Actually, we picked it up.
Or you picked it up, whatever. You were getting
Give me that
okay,
point.
so I'm actually going to post the key to this one. Probably over the break. In case you, no, not over the break. That's Monday. I'm only going to give you the key to the, let's see. I'll post the key for the top 12 tomorrow afternoon then. Well, sometime this weekend. I got to work the game tomorrow night. Sometime this weekend. But we're going to go ahead and probably, if you knew one of the top 12 in the morning, if you wanted to come write it on the board, or write it on my, under the poker can, you can get your point for each. We're actually not going to do these out loud during our normal math workshop time tomorrow because there's some survey that's really important that you fill out tomorrow. And it's going to come through your Gmail, and I'm supposed to use 10 minutes of my class time, so we're going to make sure you have a chance. So if you've got your device tomorrow, you can use that. If you need to use either of my computers, we can use that. But during our normal math workshop time, you can put up the answers if you know it. Otherwise, you've got to get the survey filled out like it was implied. It was extremely important. Extremely important. So we're going to make sure we leave some time for that tomorrow. Hence why I'm already rambling today. Okay, were there any questions about the completing the square problems we did yesterday? Yes, which one? Yes. Let's definitely go over that one. That'd be a great one, Paige. Let's start off with that. Good idea. Okay, so let's start off with you were asked to try. You didn't even have to I gave you the answers and everything. You were asked to try 7, 9, and 11. Let's go over number 11. It was the more complicated of the problems you were asked to try last night. I am going to check at the end of, well, hopefully if I can ramble on fast enough. I intend to check either at the end of class today or beginning of class tomorrow. Did you try all 5? So I would definitely write this down since this is one of the 5. Okay. So we were talking yesterday. I'm going to do x squared plus 3x. Thank you, Gracie. I'm going to do x squared plus 3x plus blank, you can, Gracie, equals negative 6 plus blank. The first thing we do is we move over whatever the number is. So I subtracted 6 from both sides. So I moved over the 6. We don't want him in part of our completing the square. So I move him to the other side. Now we're trying to complete the square. We're supposed to do something with that middle term. Our middle is 3, and we're supposed to do something with him. We had directions on it yesterday. What are we supposed to do? We divide it by 2 and then... Okay, but when I divide it by 2, so I did, in my calculator, I said 3 divided by 2. I got 1.5, and then I squared it. I got 2.25. That's not okay. What should I press? Every group can have a point. Math right.
No, it's not.
Okay, so we get 1. You better calm her down. We get 9 over 4 instead. So we're going to add 9 over 4 to both sides. Again, I know that 2.25 sounds nicer, but it's really not. We want no decimals. We only want fractions. Okay, when we divided that one by 2, we got 3 over 2. So back to, yes, we want to take the middle, divide it by 2, and then squared it. And that helps us figure out whatever this mystery number is. Wait, middle divided by 2 and square it. And that helps us figure out this mystery number we're looking for. But just middle divided by 2 tells us what we're going to write on this next line. So middle was 3. 3 divided by 2 is 3 over 2. This problem stinks because 3 is an odd number. If only it was a 4x or an 8x or some sort of even number, we wouldn't be in this fraction confusion we are in. Okay, but the great thing about fraction confusion is I don't even have to change that to 24 over 4. The negative 6, I don't have to rearrange it. I don't have to give them common denominators. I can just ask my calculator. It already remembers I just typed 9 over 4. Get my light on. It already remembers I just typed 9 over 4. I'm supposed to do 9 over 4 plus a negative 6, or 9 over 4 minus 6. My calculator knows that's negative 15 over 4. I do not even have to find common denominators. I can do this all with my calculator. So on my second line on the right-hand side, I'm going to have negative 15 over 4. Okay, we're still not done. We don't have x by himself. We take the square root of both sides. So I have x plus 3 over 2, and that square root and squared cancel out. But darn, that square root of negative 15 over 4 is a pain because of that negative sign. So I know it's plus or minus the square root of negative 15. What can I put in that denominator instead of square root of 4? 2. I know the square root of 4 is 2. Okay, but I still need to clean up that numerator a bit. So I'm going to put x plus 3 over 2 one more time equals, it's going to be plus or minus square root of 15 over 2, and I've left something off. What have I left off? There needs to be, thank you, table 3. There needs to be an I in the numerator. Anytime we see that negative under the radical, we've got to use our good old boy I. Okay, so I subtract 3 over 2 from both sides. I'm finally going to have x by itself. I have negative 3 over 2 plus or minus square root of 15, and I had the I in the numerator over 2. But again, if at this point you decided, hey, I realize both of those things have a denominator of 2, maybe I'll put the 3 and the plus or minus square root of 15i in the numerator, the 2 in the denominator. You can. But literally, you're going to get all your points in this step. It's just your personal opinion. Do I like it 2 separate fractions? Do I like it 1 giant fraction? This Compton can handle either way. And then for 2 points. 2 points. If we went back to the very, very beginning and we had x squared plus 3x plus 6, if I graphed that quadratic function in my calculator, what would it look like? Where would it cross the x-axis?
3.
We'll say somebody's smart and got their graphing calculator, graph it and see what happens. X squared plus 3x plus 6. Where did it cross the x-axis?
It's an X squared.
3x plus 6. That's what our problem was getting. Like in number 11, it says x squared plus 3x plus 6 equals 0. I'm having it everything but the equals 0. And where did it cross the x-axis?
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Notice on my graph, because I graphed it too, I'll give you 1 point, Arthur. Not 2, because I pretty much gave it away. It doesn't cross at all. Anytime you have imaginary numbers, your graph better not cross that x-axis at all. So it's always smart to check, hey, since I had to use I, did my graph really not cross? And it didn't. So we're not crazy. Okay, are there any questions about 11? Well, yes, but we're looking for zeros or roots or x-intercepts. Those are the important ones. Okay, why did we skip 8 and 10 last night?
They're odd. Wow.
3 explained it best. Thank you, table 3. That leading coefficient was not 1. So let's go back. We skipped 4 and 5 as well. So we've got to go back to number 4. We skipped it yesterday specifically because there was a 2 in front. We're not going to be scared today. We're going to handle it. Okay, most people in here, when I've looked through their work, I have not completely graded everyone's test. I'm so sorry. No, not at all. But the people who I've looked through, when they've had to factor with a leading coefficient of not 1, they didn't like my guessing check. They like Miss Brister's slide divide bottoms up, which is fine. You know why? It helps a lot with this. Because right in this second, we're going to slide. And by slide, I mean we're going to divide everybody by 2. I know. I knew you were going to be my one exception to this statement. Okay, so really all I'm doing is I don't want the leading coefficient to be a 2 anymore. I want it to be a 1. So let's divide every single thing by 2. But you and I both know 2 divided by 2 is just 1, so it's just x squared. I have negative 7 over 2x plus 5 over 2, and then 0 over 2 is just 0. So literally, all we're going to do on ones that have a leading coefficient that's not 1 is divide every term by that leading coefficient. So now it is 1, and I know what to do from here. Now, is it annoying because now we're already in fraction land? Yes. But is everything going to still work out the same and be a beautiful answer? Probably so. Okay, so we got rid of the 2 in front. I'm going to move that 5 over 2 over. So I've got x squared minus 7 over 2x plus something equals negative 5 over 2 plus something. But we're still going to figure out that something the same way. But I'm really going to super rely on my calculator this time. So my middle term is negative 7 over 2. So I'm going to tell it negative 7 divided by 2. We're supposed to take that and then square it. So if I square it, oh, I did not do that right. We're supposed to divide by 2 and then square it. So I take my middle term, divide by 2, and then square it. I get that decimal. I don't want that decimal. You know I don't want that decimal. I'm going to have to press math frac again and turn it into a fraction. So it's 49 over 16. So I'm still taking negative 7 over 2, still the same process. I'm taking the middle, dividing by 2, and then squaring it. And then I don't want that decimal. I still turn that into a fraction. It's 49 over 16. And I love that fraction because you and I both know 49 and 16 are both perfect squares. So life should work out nicely. So on the left and on the right, I'm going to add 49 over 16. Are there any questions about where that 49 over 16 came from? Are there any questions about where I got the 49 over 16? I still took the middle, -7 divided by 2. I divided it by 2 and I squared it. It's still every single time. Middle divided by 2 and squared. Now it stinks when the middle's already a fraction and you're dividing by 2 and then squaring it. I get that. But my calculator did it all. I didn't have to stress about it. Okay, well, middle divided by 2, so -7 divided by 2 divided by 2. So middle divided by 2 was -1.75. Well, I can't have that. I need that to be a fraction. It's -7/4. So I actually have x minus 7/4 squared. And again, if we were to FOIL that all the way out and actually keep up with our denominators and everything, we would get this line. So seriously, the whole process is middle divided by 2. That's the number that goes there. And then once you square it, that's the number that we're adding to both sides. Yes, Paige? Okay, so you get my middle was -7/2, right? So I did -7 divided by 2. Haven't we done middle and not the middle? Divided by 2. And then squared. Did you get here? And then you did middle, and then you did divided by 2. And then you got this, and then we went to turn that into a fraction, so math frac. So that's how I got 49/16. Okay, so yes, here. Okay, so we got to here, and let's be honest, I don't actually want to change the -5/2 to a denominator of 16. So again, I'm going to tell my calculator, it knows I was just dealing with 49/16. So if I tell my calculator, let me zoom out. If I tell my calculator 49/16 minus 5/2, I should get that right-hand side, and I'm not having to do anything. So I'm going to say 49/16 plus a negative, or I can do frac. You can do -5 divided by 2 in your parentheses. Or if you'd rather see the 5/2 as a fraction, you can press the alpha and y equals and turn it into a fraction. If you have a black calculator, that's not really going to be even an option, and I get kind of lazy, so I just want to put my fractions in parentheses. Literally, if you just press the plus sign, it remembers your last answer. So it's like it's still doing math with your last answer. All I pressed was plus, and then in parentheses, -5 divided by 2. And thankfully, since we've already told it, oh, I lied. You and I both know now it's converted it back to a decimal. I'm still on the fraction. I've got to press frac. So my fraction is 9/16. Did you do, you had 49/16. Let me look at your calculator screen. That'd be easy. You have -49/16. That's why I have a positive. So literally, if you know it's wrong, just tell it 49 divided by 16. Okay, so we got 9/16 on both sides, but we're still not done. We're going to have to take the square root of both sides. But see, once we did that hard step, I get that the top line here was hard. But now that we're to this step, well, that's going to be easy, because once we take the square root of both sides, the square root of 9 is 3. Square root of 16 is 4. So I've really got x minus 7/4 equals plus or minus 3/4. So if I were to add 7/4 to both sides, and I'm running out of room, I would have x equals 7/4 plus or minus 3/4. And we're not this lazy. We can handle this. So for the plus, I would do 7 plus 3/4, which is 10/4, which is 5/2. But again, if you're not good at fractions, have no fear. I can put this whole thing in my calculator. You can tell your calculator 7 over 4 plus 3 over 4, and you can reduce it, and it will still give you 5 over 2. So we did our plus. We've got to do our minus. 7 minus 3 over 4. Well, I get 4 over 4, which is 1. There's 2 answers, just like there were the other day, which means our graph is crossing the x-axis twice. Which means if Mia went back to the very original problem, the 2x squared minus 7x plus 5, if she went back to that, take point away. If she went back to that, then she would know for sure whether or not did my graph actually cross at 1 and 5 over 2. And if so, she's not crazy. Okay, are there any questions about number 4? Let's do number 5, and then like I said earlier, 9 and 10 are yours on the next page to try. I will tell you the answers in just a second. Yes, dear. 7 minus 3 is 4. Okay. Okay, so let's go to this next one. Let's go to this next one. The leading coefficient is not a 1. I got to get rid of the 3. So I'm going to divide everybody by the 3. And again, it starts off annoying because I've got x squared, but now I've got 10 over 3x minus 8 over 3 equals 0. Like, it's terribly, terribly annoying, and I get that. And for that, I'm sorry. Again, you have to know how to complete the square to be a successful algebra 2 trig student. I swear it's somewhat useful in life. But my go-to is the thing we're going to talk about next. Okay, so I move that 8 over 3 over. And on the left side, I got to figure out what I'm going to add to both sides. My middle is 10 over 3. So I'm going to take that middle, the 10 over 3, divide by 2, and then square it. So I'm going to go to my handy dandy calculator. Where are you, calculator? So 10 divided by 3. I'm going to divide that by 2. I took my middle, divided by 2, and then squared it. And bless it, I don't want point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah, you divide by 3.
I did, bless you. 6 and 1 get a point. You too, and well, thank you. Yeah, I'm having a moment. Hold on, let me get my calculator screen off. Okay, so I'm supposed to do my middle, which was 10 over 3. I went ahead and made a decimal. I'm supposed to divide it by 2 and then square it. And Lord, I don't want that, so I press math frac. Middle divided by 2, squared, I get 25 over 9. And notice this pattern keeps happening. We keep getting a fraction that's top and bottom perfect squares. So you know you've made a mistake if life's not working out like that. Thank you, dear. Kenzie, when you leave, come get this. So we're supposed to add 25 over 9 to both sides. So that mystery spot is 25 over 9. So, can someone tell me the mystery spot down here? Can someone tell me what goes right here? X plus what squared? Well, the 25 over 9 went there. That helped me complete the square. But what should go down here?
5, 7.
Thank you, Kay. You can have 2 points. Okay, so again, we took the middle. We divided by 2. That number goes there. And when we square it, yes, that's the important number, the 25 over 9. But just middle divided by 2 tells you what goes on the next line. So I did middle divided by 2. I converted that to a fraction. And yes, you're right. I do square it to get that 25 over 9 that we're adding to both sides. I agree. But it's been the same process every time. Okay, well, on the right, I've got that 25 over 9. And I want to add 8/3. So I'm literally going to press plus and then 8/3. My calculator. Come on. You know I want fractions. So math frac. 49 over 9.
I got one.
I added 25 over 9 plus 8 over 3.
I
Wait, what?
On the right side, did you add those two fractions in your calculator? Okay, well, my calculator a second ago remembered 25 over 9, but literally, if you put both fractions in parentheses, so 8 divided by 3, parentheses, plus parentheses, 25 divided by 9. And you're like, no, I don't want that. I want a fraction. Yay. But I did it twice. Yes. You're supposed to get 49 over 9. Okay, so again, on the right side, I had 8 over 3 and 25 over 9. I'm literally just wanting to add those two fractions. So I'm going to put each of them in parentheses. So 8 divided by 3 in parentheses plus 25 divided by 9 in parentheses. And I get that I don't want the decimal. So I press math, frac, and yay, I've got 49 over 9. Yes, dear.
It's weird.
Isn't 8 over 3 supposed to be negative?
Shut up.
No. It was on the right side, and when we added, look, it was minus 8/3 here. When we moved it to the right side, it became positive. Good question, May. Okay, are you down now? Okay, so we've got this 49 over 9. When we added 25 over 9 plus 8 over 3, we got 49 over 9. Again, beautiful perfect squares. So when we take the square root of both sides, life's really going to work out nicely on this one. I'm going to have x plus 5/3 equals plus or minus what over what?
7 over 3, right?
Yeah, 1 and 6 get the point.
Oh my.
So when I subtract 5/3 from both sides, I've got x minus 5/3 plus or minus 7 over 3. But again, I can handle this. I can do negative 5 plus 7 over 3. I can do negative 5 minus 7 over 3. And I should get 2 answers. And if you can tell me each answer, you'll get a point for each. And the other?
Negative 12.
It's negative 12 over 3, which is negative 4. 2 points for you. Will. I know, but he had the 12 over 3. He just didn't realize it was negative. So we're doing both the answers. We did negative 5 plus 7 over 3. So 7 minus 5 is 2. We got 2/3. Negative 5 minus 7 over 3. We got negative 12 over 3, which is negative 4. And Will and I like fractions, so we can do that in our heads. But again, if you don't like this, you can literally put each fraction in your calculator. And as long as you keep pressing math frac, it's always going to give you like 2/3, negative 4. It's got this. Your calculator is smart. Okay, are there any questions about this? I'm not going to. Okay, I'm going to tell you the answers to the two that you have that have leading coefficients that aren't 1. So flip to the back. Oh, it's not 8. It's not 9 and 10. It's 8 and 10. So flip to the back. You and I'm not going to lie to you. The ones with the leading coefficient are not a 1 or hard. I put hard next to 4 and 5. And on tonight's little assignment on 8 and 10, I'm also going to put hard. They're hard. They're hard because the second you divide by 3 or you divide by 2, suddenly you're making everything fractions. So you're having to keep up with everything fractions. So I get it gets super duper annoying. Okay, for number 8, yes, dear.
So if it's not like a perfect square, then it won't be right.
If you don't get like x plus 3 over 2 squared, like this, then yeah, it's not going to work out. Okay. Number 8 and 10, and those are the two I haven't told you the answers to. I'm telling you the answers now because you can handle them. You might want to handle them, but you can. So you can either have your answer as 3 plus or minus square root of 33 over 4, or you can have your answer as x equals 3 over 4 plus or minus square root of 33 over 4. Okay, and then on number 10, it's also a hard. Your answer can either be still, I'm either doing one giant fraction, so 2 plus or minus the square root of 10 over 3, or you can do two separate fractions, 2 over 3 plus or minus square root of 10 over 3. Either way is good with me. Okay, so let's be honest. I thought we could do a little more than that, but I get that the leading coefficient not on 1 is a little whoosh. So I think we'll say that you can work on these problems, and I'll give you your checkpoint. But tomorrow, that means we have to fly through the quadratic formula. So it would be in your best interest if you walk through that door knowing that bad boy. The hardest part. There's a pain in the rear. Quadratic formula is much, much easier. The hardest part is knowing the formula. So if you will know the formula by tomorrow, your life will be so much easier. If you struggle bus to memorize things, you can, let me stop my recording. You can find many